Hey, what's up, and welcome to part 2 of this training series. In this module, I'll go over the very basics of PHP. Let's start things off with a very simple PHP page. In a web page, we wrap PHP codes with the following tags. This line indicates the beginning of PHP code, and this line indicates the end of PHP code. To display anything on the web browser, we use the echo function provided in PHP. So if you want to say welcome to a user, you'd write After running the file in the web browser, you'll see it says welcome. Another great thing about PHP is if you embed any HTML tag within an output, the browser will recognize that part as HTML and render it accordingly. For example, if you wanted to make welcome bold, you'd use something like this. Throughout the training series, you'll hear me referring to keywords known as variables. Variables are like a pointer which points to a specific type of data. For example, here's an inefficient PHP code. Obviously, I wouldn't talk like that in real life, but for this demonstration, just bear with me. I used the name Roosevelt 3 times in this example. There are cases where you may use a name or certain keywords over thousands of times. So if you wanted to make changes, it could take some time. However, if you store the name in a variable, all you have to do is change it in one place and other parts get updated automatically. To declare a variable, we use the $sign, followed by the name of the variable, and then we assign some contents to the variable using the equal sign. For example, here's how you could store your name in a variable. After you run it in the browser, you'll see the output is the same. But if I update the name to Richard, the output changes accordingly. So in a nutshell, a variable is a way you store data within PHP for a small period of time. In a variable, if you are storing strings, for example words or sentences, you have to surround them with a single or double quote. Because if you don't, then PHP will think it's part of the code and will attempt to read it or interpret it. However, if you're just storing numbers, then you don't need to use single or double quotes. Let's make a small calculator which adds, subtracts, multiplies, and divides only two numbers. The specific symbols we use to perform some kind of calculations are called operators. Okay, let me show you an example. the output is obviously 15 plus 5 equals 20. Similarly, if you want to subtract, you use the minus sign. For multiplication, you'll have to use the asterisk, also known as the star symbol. And for division, you'll have to use the forward slash. We usually use double quotes to surround any kind of data, whether we are displaying them on screen, storing them as variables, or passing them to a PHP function. There really isn't much difference with single and a double quote, but look at the example output below. Everything is still the same, I merely changed the double quotes to single quotes. But PHP didn't bother parsing the variables and returned literally what I gave it to. This is the end of this module, and I'll wait for you in the next one.